But would I recommend you going to the Preloved Kilo sales? Yes, so today I'm going to be talking about whether you should go to the Preloved Kilo pop-up events. If you don't know what Preloved Kilo is, it's an event that travels all the way around the country where you can handpick vintage clothes for £15 per kilo. In this video I'm going to be talking about my experience of when I went to the Preloved Kilo event in Hackney on the 5th of December. But before the video starts, please like the video and subscribe to my channel and help me get to 1k by the end of the year. And as well, if you haven't watched the video of all the stuff that I got from the Preloved Kilo event, the link to that will be in the cards and in the description. I think you should go watch it. After this video I came away with so many nice pieces, and I'll show you some of the pieces that you could pick up if you go to the events. When you arrive at the events, before you go in, you've got a queue outside. If I was you, I would get to the events with at least 15 to 20 minutes early, just to make sure that you can go in on the first wave of people. Due to all the fun stuff with COVID and everything like that, they're only allowing a limited amount of people into the events at a time. To be honest though, I kind of like that, where there's less people that are actually going to be about and less people that are going to be taking things off the rails as well. Without a doubt, you'll be able to find exactly what you're after. They pretty much had every item you could physically think of. They had jean jackets, track jackets, which I picked up quite a few of. They had polo shirts, they had t-shirts, they had actual shirts. There's Kogi lookalike jumpers. They might even have had some Kogis in there. They had trench coats, they had women's wear, they had shoes, bags, loads of other little accessories as well. Literally everything you could think of. The only thing I think they didn't have is any like crew necks or jumpers like the one I've got on now. If you like the one I've got on now, it's available on my Depop shop, which is at JoshFitUp. The link to that will be in the description. It's only £15, quite a steal if you ask me. However, they might have like jumpers at other events, but for the event that I went to in Hackney, they didn't really have any jumpers really at all. As I said, the only jumpers they did have were the Kogi lookalike ones. But when I went to the event, they had loads of staff that were really nice, constantly going around filling up the rails when they were getting a little bit low on stock. When they were getting a little low on stock, you know the staff would open up a little section in the rail for them to reload the new clothes onto. People were clocking that the staff were doing this and positioning themselves around the empty spaces in the rails. People were like near enough bodying people out the way to get to the new stuff, like bodying people out the way and just kind of ripping it off the rail as soon as the staff put it down. However, the staff were really hot on this, and they did avoid putting out new stock if they see them people hovering around the empty gaps in the rail. So they were quite noticeable of it, which was nice because it kind of gave everyone a lot more of an even chance of getting the new stuff. I spent about £114 there, and I came away with 9kg worth of clothes. The clothes add up really quick though. I know when I was on 9kg, I only thought I was probably on about 2 to 3kg, and I know when they weighed it, I was kind of shocked that I'd already hit them kind of numbers. That's one tip I would give you. Be very mindful of the weight of the things you are picking up. For every like 2 track jackets, I think it was, that was 1kg. Probably works about the same for jumpers and stuff like that. For every 2 to 3 items you are picking up, that's about 1kg. But even though they did add up really quick, £15 for them 2 items wasn't bad at all, considering I was going on to sell them items for a further to £20 to £30. So the profit margin you can make at the events is really good if you pick up the right pieces. To increase your profit margin even more, what I would do is buy as many kilos as you can before you go into the event. You can buy a maximum of 10 kilos before you go to the event, but obviously once you're inside, you can buy as many kilos as you can afford. And if you prepay for a kilo, it's only £13, which is £2 off. Buy the whole 10 kilos before you go to the event. It works out about £20 you can save on the kilos. You can look at that in 2 different ways. You can either look at that as £20 less you've got to then make on the stock you do pick up, or that's another kilo you can buy yourself once you're inside. Pretty much that extra kilo is near enough free. At the same time you prepay for the kilos, you've also got to pay tickets to get into the event. Each ticket only costs £1.50, which in my opinion is a bargain, and them tickets are £1.50 per person. I'd advise you buying them before you go to the event, so you got more chance of getting in on the first wave of people. Going back, as I said, I spent £114 at the event and came away with 9 kilos worth of stock, and it's been less than a month and I've already made that money back and some more. That's another tip that I would give you if you are planning on going to the events. Go with as big as budget as you physically can so you can pick up as much stock as you physically can. If you pick up the right stock, it will clear really quick like a lot of mine has, and now I completely run out and the next event isn't for a little while. The events are quite frequent however, but obviously due to COVID and everything like that, the events are going to be not as frequent, where probably a lot of them are going to get cancelled due to the tier restrictions. I know at the time of filming this I was going to go to another Hackney one, but I think it's just been cancelled, where London is now in tier 4, which is really fun news. But obviously the more you go to the events, the bigger budget you'll be able to bring with you each time, where you would have made your money back and some from the last one. You'll be able to bring that money with you to the next one. I know when I was going about, there was probably some people that were there that probably spent at least £1,000 that day at the event, because they were literally carrying these bags around that were probably the length of me. That's another tip. If you are planning to go to the events, try and drive if possible, because you don't want to be carrying around these huge bags of clothes with you. I only bought 9 kg and I definitely would not have wanted to be getting on trains and buses and stuff like that, carrying that about, let alone if you come away with like 40 kg, because you're going to struggle to carry it. Because I know when I got the Syed vintage barrel, which if you haven't watched that video will be in the cards and in the description, I couldn't even lift that up, and that was 45 kg. I'll try and lift it up, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. God, I ain't be able to do that. Another tip that I have that can maximise the amount of items you bring away with you and bring down the cost of each item is try and buy some lighter items. Obviously don't stray away from buying your heavier items, but try and get a mixture of both. As I was saying earlier, about 2 track jackets or 3 sweatshirts is 1 kg. But as well, with that 1 kg, you could have probably come away with about 9 to 10 polo shirts and t-shirts. You see what I mean? The lighter items, you're going to be able to get more for your money, but obviously it works the same way. The lighter items you probably aren't going to be able to sell for as much as the heavier items. I know when I went, I spent £7.70 an item, and I could have greatly reduced that if I would have picked up more t-shirts and polo shirts. Look, all these little inside tips I'm giving you and you haven't subscribed yet. The greatest thing I came away with that day is the knowledge I learned about vintage clothes. I learned so much more about vintage clothes. I learned so much more about tags, what styles sell best, what brands sell best, what colours sell best, and just a lot more about vintage clothes in general. But obviously as well, if you go to the events, you'll be able to get the same knowledge that I got. That's probably one of the most valuable things I would say I came away from the Preloved Kilo sale with. But would I recommend you going to the Preloved Kilo sales? 100%. I would try and go to everyone in your local area. I would even travel to go to some of them. I'm hopefully going to be going to another event soon. To find out if I do go to the events, the link to my Instagram's in the description and on the screen. I post all the time about what I'm up to and what videos are coming out soon. I think you should go follow it. I think you'll like all the content I post on there. If you did like this review of the Preloved Kilo events, as I said, please like the video. It does massively help, and subscribe to my channel to help me get to 1k by the end of the year. Kinda like my dream to hit a k by the end of the year, so if you did subscribe, I would appreciate it quite a lot. But as I said, I'm going to go to another Preloved Kilo sale soon. I've got another Syed vintage barrel on the way. There's going to be more Depop content, more custom content, and more content every Thursday and Saturday on this channel at 5 PM. I do hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be loads more content coming soon, so please like, subscribe, and comment down below any videos you'd like to see in the future.